Now that DeMar DeRozan has officially been traded from the Chicago Bulls, the question is, when will Zach Lavine and Nikola Vucevic get traded next? What is going on, y'all? Faiz Sports Talk back at it with another video. Talking some NBA here to talk about the Chicago Bulls and here to talk about the next sort of dominoes for the Bulls now that DeMar is out of here, man. And again, I've gave you guys my thoughts on DeMar's departure in my most recent video. I wish him the best of luck, man. Consummate professional here in Chicago, a total pros pro. That was DeMar DeRozan. Happy to see him go back home to the West and on a hopeful winning team that can maybe make some noise in the Western Conference. So let's talk about the Bulls, though, because now that we got one of the big three out of here, when are the other two going to go, right? Zach and Vuc. And the easy answer should be as soon as possible, right? Because AK, ME, they should go ahead and try to get this, house cleaned up of the veterans. When I say the house, I'm talking about the Chicago Bulls, and let all of the young guys play. This should be a total rebuild. We want to go ahead and keep that pick next year that we have from the Spurs, which is top 10 protected, which basically means that we need to have that pick land in the top 10 for us to keep it. And the only way that happens is if we are terrible. All right, so we need to be terrible next year to keep our pick and hopefully land a guy like Cooper Flagg, who's projected to be the #1 overall pick next year. So, Vuc and Zach, when will they be traded? Let's start with Zach. All right, we all know the rumors with Zach Lavine and how nobody wants him because of his terrible deal, and the fact that the Bulls have been shopping him for months and they're even trying to attach assets to him. I got to tell you, folks, like, the direction of Zach's value going completely south is something that I did not expect. I mean, people are treating this guy like he's Ben Simmons. He's a two-time All-Star, man. He can still get it done. Yes, is he a little injury-prone? Sure. But I have seen way worse players and way worse contracts get moved than Zach Lavine. I think what's really hurting the value right now is not so much Zach. I think it's the fact that with the new CBA and that new second apron and all the penalties that come with it, teams are reluctant to go into that second apron when they trade for a guy like Zach because they don't want to pay all those penalties. So blame the new CBA, man, because it's just making it so much harder. Either which way, I still think Zach gets moved before the season starts, and I'm looking at a team like the Clippers, potentially the Lakers. The Lakers could still trade for Zach. They would have to give up, again, matching salaries here, some combination of probably D'Angelo Russell, Rui Hachimura, and a Gabe Vincent type. That would get it done, right? So to me, as long as we're just taking back expiring contracts and, not taking back any big salaries, I'm good with it, man. That's all we want. It's like the exact same thing as the DeMar DeRozan trade, which is give us some picks and give us back expiring contracts, right? I don't want to give up assets to get rid of Zach, so that shouldn't be the case. So I'm looking at a team. I would focus on the Lakers, the Clippers, and the Heat. Those would be kind of the three teams I'm looking at for Zach that should be and could be interested in his services. Now, as far as Nikola Vucevic, I have a team that I feel like is a clear destination for him, and I don't know why they aren't trying to get him, and that's the New Orleans Pelicans. Folks, the Pelicans don't have any bigs now. Jonas Valanciunas went to the Wizards, and so, their starting lineup is essentially one that doesn't have a center. Even Larry Nance, they traded away in the DeJounte Murray trade. So you got DeJounte Murray, CJ McCollum, Brandon Ingram still there. We'll see if he stays there. And Zion Williamson. Who's your center? Go out and get Vuc, plug them in at the 5, and you got yourself a nice little squad there. So they should go ahead and try to trade for Vuc. So the Pelicans, to me, are a clear team that has a need for a guy like Nikola Vucevic who can still give you, 17 and 10 every night. So to me, that's a team that I would look at. And again, same thing. Just give us some expiring contracts and picks. Not asking for much. Just don't give up assets. So here's my prediction. Vuc gets moved to the Pelicans. Zach probably gets moved to the Lakers. And I expect this to happen before the season starts I'm not going to say it's happening right now because we still got a bunch of time before the season starts, but it'll drag out a little bit, but I expect it to happen before the season starts, and here's why. I don't think Arturas Karnisovas and Mark Eversley want to go into the season and play Zach and Vuc and somehow end up winning some games just because, again, those guys are talented enough to have us still win games. So I don't expect that to be the case. That is the worst case scenario, that we have to go into the season, play these guys, have their value driven up by the trade deadline so that we can move them then. Because that's the last deadline right there. The trade deadline is the last stop, right? You got to get rid of them before that. Hopefully it doesn't come to that, because I want to give the young guys all the playing time in the world, like Patrick Williams, Matas Buzelis, Io, all these guys. I want to get them a bunch of playing time so we could see who can kind of emerge here. But yeah, man, that's my prediction here. Before the season starts, Vuc and Zach are out of here. And I gave you guys my destination for both of them. Let me know what you guys think. Leave a comment down below with your thoughts as always.